Hey, welcome everyone to the Sketch Show podcast. I'm Carlos Gomez.
I don't know what you're doing right now.
It was so good.
Yeah, why do you do
Hi everyone. Let's just go ahead and say this. We got Landon Wilson with us. Hey, Landon. That's right. Welcome. He's a longtime listener, first-time attendee.
Long-time listener. First-time caller.
Thanks for
Noel. Noel is here as well.
Calling.
Oh yeah. Charlie's here.
Hey, what's up? It's another week. I'm here. Summertime in Chicago, finally. Knock on wood. I'm real happy.
Knock on wood because you're happy.
Yeah, I don't want it because then they'll hear me.
I don't know, man. Sometimes those Chicago summers get pretty gnarly.
Yeah. And then next thing you know, we'll have snow again. We'll have a month of summer. I don't want that. Not about that life.
Speaking of hot, Jack Kasperzak is here.
Yeah. I was
wondering sound effect for that.
No, I wonder what the follow. There it is. I was like,
that one needed a little breathing room.
You know what's terrible is I love teasing and getting people to that edge of discomfort. I love doing that, but no one likes it. So I'll say some stupid things and people will be like, what? Anyway. Hi guys.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Let's go ahead and Noel says it rained there today. Did it rain down there by you, Jack?
Yeah, it was like misting. Yeah. Rain.
What up, Noel?
Cool. Let's go ahead and get into fun prompts.
But you don't want to tell people how they can participate?
Oh, yeah. Just kidding. That's right, folks. You can use the schedule hotline. 408-753-8248. International callers. 011-408-753-8248. So yeah, now.
Fine.
Let's go up to the canvas here and let's get started.
Efficiency.
I believe every day's a good day when you paint.
So, as we all remember,
Yes.
Last week we were talking about a porcupine karate master bouncing. Let's take a look. One Jack Kasperzak, Sketchbook Jack. I don't know if you guys. He's starting to. Hey, Dustin Pike draws. Yeah, you have no idea, Dustin. He's definitely the bouncer. So yeah, Jack. Now we know what Jack is doing when the show is happening, because this was up before the this was up before the show was over.
No, it wasn't. Because
it was right. It was like
pretty close.
Yeah.
Either way, it's beautiful. I love
it's real nice.
Great.
The I want to say Chinese writing on the wall.
So,
but
full disclosure, I have no idea what that says. I went to Google and I typed royalty-free dojo writing.
I like how you laugh before you get through.
Dojo writing. That's the white guy who's like, I don't know what it would say.
We could say some really, really crazy
stuff. It totally could. I should have somebody translate it.
I would like to know. Maybe it'll make the image.
That would be interesting to see what it says.
You should probably have them translate it off the show.
Yeah.
Maybe beforehand.
Case.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Either way, this is a very good, very nice piece.
Mm-hmm.
You got a lockdown on this. The sunbeams coming through.
Mm-hmm.
I've been messing around. I like light. I like messing around.
Noel
with
says it says $5 love you long time.
Don't read the chat.
And we're off.
Here we go.
So let's see what else we got. This one is so well done.
Yeah, I like this one.
Super
It's
simple.
minimalist.
I'm assuming that here is a
Belly
belly
button.
button.
Yeah. Or
Get out of here.
Or boing.
yo, and also you notice he's floating, so he's zen-like.
It does seem pretty happy.
He's like a
Whip some ass is what it's about to do.
going to the left.
Francis draw is very well done. Again, you can totally see this on the front of a
That's like
greeting card.
Hallmark.
something that you would just be flipping through New Yorker, and then in the corner it's just like that.
It's like perfect zen.
This one looks so realistic. Very, very good job, Sketch on Podcast.
Karate Master.
Bad Art Corner.
Is that Ken from Street
Ken?
Fighter?
Yes, it is. It's Ken Wright. Yes, it is. Good call.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well,
Yo. Did you get that? Oh, man. And I looked at good one, Jack. It's good.
I like it.
I didn't even see it.
Good job, Bad Art Corner.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see. That's why he said totally original idea. Any resemblance to other things in the universe is just you projecting your insecurities on this piece.
He called you guys out. We got art by Muriel.
He's got a mullet.
Muriel.
Yeah.
That's like a mullet.
Is it mullet or is it faux hawk?
Looks like someone's about to whoop someone's ass, is what it is.
I won't mess
This
you up.
this hand here looks a little pitchforky too.
It's
So,
fierce.
yeah.
It's
It's
fierce.
gonna scratch you.
I'm going to smack you.
Right, let's see. We got Stand Poor Studios.
I like the homage to like Danielson, to the Karate Kid there.
Yeah.
Is that one of those like medicine balls that you like used to sit on with the handle? Or is it?
I think it's a water balloon.
Definitely bouncing.
Oh, it is bouncing too.
Hope you have moon hoppers in your childhood. Moon hoppers.
Oh,
yeah.
those little,
Yeah, it is.
put little like ribs on it, rivets or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Man,
I do.
Yeah, it is
remember
one of
those.
those things with the handles. Yeah.
yeah.
That made jumping so much harder. Like if you just jumped, you'd be fine. But no, that ball thing, you're bouncing. Especially like we were talking about it, hot Chicago summers. Let that thing sit out on the sun for a minute, and then jump on it with them tight ass shorts that we used to wear back when we were kids.
It burn you.
Yeah, like
Those like 2-color ones is like red with the white
toys.
stripe, the white line stripe all the way around it, with the slit on the side.
just look up
Yo.
Bruce Jenner.
Never had those, but like hilarious.
I did with them high ass socks. Dustin Pike draws. Hey, look.
You'd be a grown man socks. With the stripe
Why
didn't
are
match your outfit. Yeah, like blue
Why
stripe.
are
and
your
like,
socks past your knees?
you'd have a weird like yellow and black stripe, but you're wearing khakis and baby blue shirt. The stripes never matched the outfit.
You've seen the pictures then.
Green stripes and you're wearing...
Dustin, this is really cool. I like that he got him in a bouncy house.
Garfield feeling going on a little bit.
Yeah.
Huh.
I like it.
I like it.
No one else could be in that bounce house with him. He'll be kicking them in the face.
Very pretty. Yeah, them little horrible kids that would like pee in the corner, ruin it.
Always
for
the
everyone.
bad ones. Yeah. Mom's just not looking. It's not looking.
Now let's talk about this air pump here. How long do you think it would take to blow up this blow up house with the air pump? If it takes you 35 minutes to fill up a bicycle tire.
I like the logic right now.
I keep seeing these on the news. These things keep bounce houses keep blowing up in the wind. I seen recently
blowing away.
Blowing away. One went on the highway somewhere in Southern California.
Nice. That's funny. They filled it with helium instead of air.
Yeah, wrong thing.
Yeah, we
so Dustin is in the chat room. I was gonna do another after where it was deflated from his quills. That would be hilarious.
All you see is
standing alone, all sad amongst a pile of deflated.
He also said Noelle is full of hot air. She could have filled it.
Oh no! Shots fired!
Shots fired. They've been going back and forth in the chat room.
Wow. Well, handle that like
illustration chimes in. This one kicking boards.
Have you seen this YouTube video of this like 12-year-old Russian boxer girl who can straight up destroy trees with her fists?
Yo, have you seen her combos? Combos are sick.
Yeah.
Fist of Fury.
I think she does the whole boxing exercise with her dad. It's like.
All right, let's see. We got yes.
Little spot of color. Interesting.
Just a touch. Just a touch.
Just to remind you that he's taking ass on the yellow belt.
Yeah, he's taking that someone lower than him. That's so mean. Just hold my board. I'm gonna kick you in the face.
And he's bouncing off a trampoline too, so you know he's got momentum.
Oh yeah, right.
All right, so good job, Graham Lowry. Cander's Creations. This one's really cool. I like this one a lot.
Like
busting through.
What is that? Trapezoid or rhombus? Trapezoid.
Sure.
Come on, folks. Geometry class.
Why would it be a trapezoid though?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you guys.
I think it's a.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Rhombus.
I think it's a foreshortened rectangle.
Yeah, it looks like a rectangle in perspective.
I only see 4 sides, buddy.
Oh, okay, guys. Seeing it in 3D. Okay.
Oh, sorry, everybody.
Jack. All of a sudden, everybody's a freaking Pythagorean over here.
Did you say? Okay, cool. I'm seeing it in 3D.
Charlie's sitting there coming up with theorems.
Stuff he said under his breath. All right, guys, cool. Did it 3D, cool.
All right, so Coconut Justice chimes in.
Ooh.
Also a yellow belt. Or is it a black belt? I don't know how this works.
A black belt with 4th degree black belt.
4th degree yelloes.
4th degree yellow.
Is that how that works?
Write that down. 4th degree yellow belt. Been doing this since '84.
Since I had to wear those short shorts.
Yeah.
With the triangle cutting.
Black shorts with a yellow stripe. Yes.
My gym socks had 4 yellow stripes.
I was a gym master.
Talking about my socks match the belt.
Oh, there's a move.
We got.
That's like a scorpion.
There it is. That's the nice. Look at that. Yellow and black. I see a theme.
Yeah, everybody's got yellow and black.
Never seen the yellow and black gi. This dude is a before his time. It's like a Power Ranger.
Have you guys been watching Cobra Kai on YouTube?
No, I have not. I think I watched.
Everyone keeps talking about how wonderful it is.
Is it good?
Really?
Everyone keeps talking about how good it is.
Really?
It does not look
good. My buddy Vinny and his wife he said they've seen it 6 times.
It must take a turn. Because I think I watched the first episode, and like when I started seeing beat up on kids, it like had a weird feeling than it did last year, like back in the day. Like you didn't care that Mr. Miyagi was beating up on high school kids. This new one felt weird when he was beating up on him. Johnny was sweeping the leg on like 16-year-olds.
This is my homie Javier from Chicago. Scribbler 80.
Nice work.
Nice.
Different kind of bouncing. A different kind of bouncing. He's the actual bouncer.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice everyone's doing a variation on the Karate Kid? Like,
don't mess around with
Vendetta? Like, you can't mess around with the Rising Sun.
I missed that entirely.
I missed the other one too.
I love this one. He killed it.
It's nice. Real nice.
Oh,
This one is just...
Someone went like kind of physically correct.
Yeah.
Bad, nasty porcupine. They're kind of weird looking.
Yeah, it's like
Pat Mast.
he was just hurt.
I would say that this leg here gets a little bit lost. You have to really look
You have to look at it for a
it.
second.
But I like that it's creating rolls.
Yeah, I like the perspective.
It's got a lot of flow or motion to it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
How do you make that pop out more?
Probably give it either more lines to help separate it a little more.
Yeah. Or continue the white a little further left so it stands out more.
Yeah, move the white over a little bit. Yeah.
I know it's not accurate, but it would help visually.
Yeah. Or even if you just move the foot.
Yeah, it could just be a pose, slightly
A
different.
little bit maybe. But it sucks because it's such a good pose. It's just like I said, that foot gets lost in there. So
Yeah, you had to think about that leg for a second there.
anyway, still wonderful work, Pat Mast.
Great job.
Now we have Mr. Happy Pencil.
I like that logo.
Yeah, right.
Let's steal it.
Pretty cool.
That should be the news. Mr. Sketch Zone.
That's another show title. That's a nice
Let's steal
logo.
it.
Let's steal
Like
it.
the logo. Let's steal it. Yes.
So wonderful that he set it up perfectly.
That logo. I'm gonna take it.
Another really good,
I like this.
really good strong pose. Emily's doodles. Her poses are
I
always
want to see this one colored.
so
Blue
strong.
pencil's nice though. I like the smile and
Yeah,
the little feet.
Yeah.
The feet are cool. Little thin legs. And the way the feet are. That might be my favorite.
yeah. I think she killed it. That's one porcupine that's happy to be whooping some ass.
Yeah, definitely.
What is she kicking? A medallion?
A target.
Target.
He's kicking Flava Flav in his chest.
He was in Chicago.
So that means that we have to come up with a new one.
Let's do it.
All right, so we're gonna do character, outfit, action.
Give it a
Is that what we did last time?
No.
Yeah.
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 Let me have one more.
And
This
a
is good.
golf club.
Really? Yeah, check. Keep together. Let's go.
You know what's funny is when I get Jack, it's when he really, really laughs. It's when I'm not even trying to get him. When I'm trying to get him, I
Did you
get
see
the
his
cricket.
face? Jack, you just see his face. He looked away. Carlos is like, really? He gave the look like, really?
All right, so we have a crane that's dressed like a circus performer
What?
sailing.
like a construction crane or the bird
what
crane?
are we talking about?
Either way.
Either way.
Okay, wait. What is it?
that good, or should we go again?
Wait, hang on. A crane dressed like what?
Crane dressed like a circus performer. Sailing. The only thing I don't like there is the sailing part.
This is weird.
I don't like the sailing part either.
I'm really
like put a crane on a boat dressed like a
no.
a tutu or something. This is weird.
All right.
I like the crane and clown part though.
Yeah.
Because you can kind of go. You can go with a bird. Yeah, and a.
This one is almost good too.
Almost good. We'll change the word that's the problem, and we'll never know the difference.
Okay. So this one is a kangaroo hitman pogo jumping.
Did we do pogo?
Pogo jumping.
Did pogo jumping.
We did pogo. Can you randomize one?
Right. You can't lock them down. You have to.
Hey, Steven Silver. You got some advice.
Softball player tiptoeing.
Say it again.
Okay.
Raccoon softball player tiptoeing.
That's good. I like that one.
That's kind of interesting.
Why is he tiptoeing playing softball?
I don't know. That's what you gotta. Yeah, I could go with that.
Okay.
All right, let's write that down. Raccoon softball player tiptoeing.
Okay. That's it. Is that what we're picking?
There you go. That's what we're gonna do.
Let's go up to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe every day's a good day when you paint.
Oh, hello. So, what's up, Charlie? Oh,
yeah, no one talking to you.
Do you remember that logo?
With that logo.
I'm gonna go back to
Instagram.
We have an update. So I was posting some things on Instagram this week, and I just happened to come across a young entrepreneur.
Yo, you stupid.
That's kind of you.
That decided that they liked the Sketch Zone logo so much that they decided to borrow it without asking.
Hey, at least it's the old one.
So I went on Instagram stories and what do the kids say? Put them on blast.
I don't know. I don't think there's any kids here, so we can't really figure that one out. But
they're definitely not saying that anymore.
There's definitely we can say this young man was anti-fleek.
Yo, just stop. You making me hurt every time you say it, just a little bit on the inside. I know you got like 5 more.
Or like Noel says, a young copycat jerk. And so I was like, I just went on the stories or whatever, Insta stories, and I was like, yo, you didn't even ask, la la la. Well, the Nation decided to chime in. People like Sir Landon here,
yeah,
and continued to give this young entrepreneur a lesson in plagiarism.
School.
and so I mean, listen, I know we talked to Jack and I was like, man, you should be flattered that people are stealing your stuff and blah blah blah. And so long story short, the Nation jumped in and started commenting on dude's stuff. So as you notice, he's back to having a silhouette.
Yo, legit don't put his Instagram on the show.
Oh, I'm gonna tag him in it. Yeah, see, you wanted people to see. Here, take a look. Say what?
His tracings. Let's go.
And let's see, because I mean, You see what I mean? Like you're gonna jack our logo and you're not even gonna follow us? Come on, son.
Well,
He doesn't want to get his followers
I understand
confused.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
those 70 followers are like day
Skip
ones.
that, son. Catch his L.
Some ride.
He's an entrepreneur. He's not stupid.
You say catch this L?
Nation got on his ass like a bad pair of drawers. Boy, are you kidding me? So yeah, for those that don't know, plagiarism is bad.
Plagiarism is bad.
You can't you can't just straight up try to jack someone's not these days. Like
I mean,
the world is smaller today than it ever has been as far as I can remember. So, you know, going back to Jack, do you want to share your story real quick? Give us
I was just looking them up. I was looking them up to see if they're still around.
Yo, are they?
We got 1 second.
Or did they re-up and you got some new artwork, some of your new artwork up there? Like, we'll just wait him out. Maybe he'll leave us alone.
Yeah, I mean, see, but like this is a little different because this is clearly someone, you know, on the startup, you know, just a few followers trying to find their footing and thought it would be okay to borrow the Sketchzone logo, and you know, a few people chimed in, and I think that was enough to scare them. But
yeah, well, he just thought, man, I should just call my Instagram page Sketchzone. Brilliant.
No. Well, they didn't steal any artwork. They didn't.
Well, not ours.
Yeah,
I think they have definitely taken other people's artwork. In fact,
yeah.
I know they have because you can see the watermark on one of them.
Oh man.
Go to the. You have it up. You want to show it?
Yeah, I mean, I would
go to the one with the
imagine
ballerina.
they're all like that. They're probably all fake.
They're Tracy
or stolen.
Well, I don't know because a lot of them have the same signature that kind of reads like imp or IND or JND or something. And all of those look to be roughly the same quality. And then there's two that really stand out.
Here's one.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Wait. Maybe they did. And let's be fair. Like,
maybe.
They're working on it.
Yeah, maybe. But then click the other one.
Bullshit.
They did a YouTube tutorial and bam.
Yeah, maybe. No. I'll give you this one. Maybe.
The line work.
Yeah, but then click the ballerina, and there's a watermark right on her back.
Yo, he literally in Photoshop tried to lighten it.
Didn't even try to remove it.
Didn't even see it. He probably didn't see it. He's like, oh, it's gone. I can't really see it.
You know.
No, I would feel bad if this is like a 9-year-old.
It could be. I mean, it could be.
And if you are Sketchzone _, holla at your boy.
Understand. We understand.
Holla at your boy.
Come on the show.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
No, we're telling your parents. You better get scared.
You know what? Guess what? No Xbox. Now what?
You know what? You should come on the show.
I would, and I'd be down for doing that. Like, I mean, again, if it's a kid.
What are we gonna talk about?
At 9, they know better than to steal.
I know what we're gonna talk about. What do you mean? What are we gonna talk about?
We're talking about stealing.
You gonna sound like wah, 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 wah.
So yeah, hey, Sketchzone _ holla at your boy. If you wanna come on
here,
you can come on the show. We can guarantee you at least one more follower.
No, end up being a little Tay. You got to boot your first guest from the show.
Could you imagine?
Hey, it looks like
it would be awesome
if we could get Lil Tay. She'd be like, y'all broke bitches. I'm like, how you know? Why you looking?
Her stuff is in shambles. She won't be relevant in another 2 weeks.
She did a video as she started dropping M-bombs, dude. The internet went crazy on her. She got on her next video was her crying. I'm just trying to make moves.
No, there was a dude that pulled up next to her. She was at like a bus stop or something. She's like, "Hey, you Lil Tay?"
Ooh.
He was like, and she was like, "No," whatever. Walked away. She's like, "Oh, it's not the same energy." Instantly, he was already on Instagram Live. like, it was hilarious. Like,
How can
man, it's got random dudes.
Lil Tay gets confronted.
All fun and games.
Everybody's that's what the girl said. You gotta put this. You gotta post it. She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna post this. It's not the same energy."
There it is. You got 10 minutes of Lil Tay getting confronted. She got exposed. Boom.
Everybody's like seeing her and like want to hear her pop off. I want to hear you pop off. She was like, no, thank you.
Speaking of white people saying the N-word,
disclaimer in this episode.
There was an incident, I guess, the other night at a Kendrick Lamar concert.
Oh, that was great.
He brought a lady up there, and she started singing, and she started singing the lyrics exactly as they are.
Yeah,
and she
no, that's unfortunate because that's
set up.
That's a setup.
Yeah, she got set up.
No, because
if she doesn't sing it, it looks like she don't know the words.
No, she had people go before her where they just edited themselves. She just didn't.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and for the record, you might know the words, but you drop M-bombs, you will get jacked up.
Wow.
I don't care if you know every one of those words, you will get jacked up.
Yeah. She's like, what, bro? What? He sounded every bit of what you expect.
But that's kind of the world we live in right now. Not the N-bomb one is just like you can't, like, you have to walk such a tight line these days. You say one thing, you're gonna piss off half the world, and you say something else, so you're gonna piss off the other half of the world.
At least Kendra was cool about it. He wasn't too. He's like, "Yo, dude," before you
just kicked her in the chest, and she fell off the stage.
Yeah, Kevin Gates her. You know, at least he was like, dude, before you had to edit and stuff. You can't be saying that. No. And she's like, then she said, "What I say?" Like, did I say it? Yeah, you said it.
Did I say it?
The crowd, did she say it?
She didn't even know she was saying it.
Yeah.
Mm.
She's like, "Oh."
No. That's a good way to get jacked up, son. So Jack actually was telling me a story. He went and hung out with one Landon Wilson yesterday.
Yeah.
Actually, you didn't even tell the story about the plagiarism.
I don't know. That looks like well, I've told it on the show before. It actually looks like they might be gone. Their Facebook page is gone.
Yeah, they didn't survive.
I don't know. I can't find their regular website, but I'll keep searching. Long story short, I got ripped off by a German company, a design company no less, claiming they provide design services. And they took some of my characters and turned it into a logo, a poster, an iPhone case, some earrings. They got it on their wallets.
A vehicle wrap.
Yeah,
they got their vape pens wrapped around it. Their
storefront.
No, literally storefront. It was wrapped on a van. Yeah. They went all out.
They pushed all their chips in. They're like
he's never.
This drawing is what we want.
He's never going to see.
And then it got interesting because I got an email from somebody who said, "Hey, check this out. This looks like your work. Did you ever do work for them?" And of course I didn't. And, you know, as I started poking around and investigating, I found out that the person who emailed me may or may not have worked for them. And was ratting them out, or, you know, had some, don't know what was going on there. Yeah, I never really moved on it because the few people being overseas, it's pretty tough to take action. I suppose we could have inundated their Facebook with the nation, but we didn't. But they're gone anyway, it looks like.
See what happens when you steal. When you steal,
Every day.
everything goes to hell when you steal.
Go out of business.
So anyway, back to the story from yesterday. So Landon invited Jack, and there's some of this that I know that you guys won't be able to talk about, but there was a conversation that started happening after Jack got back from hanging out with Landon that I thought was super interesting. So anyway, why don't you guys go ahead and
about how much of a weirdo Landon was, and I never want to see him again. And then you showed up on the podcast, and you made it awkward.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, not that conversation.
You can't get rid of me that easily.
I'm not sure. Are you talking about just like the whole coming out of a VR experience?
Yeah, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that after you guys. I don't know how much of this.
I don't know
trip
how much I can
you guys
either,
can
actually,
share.
so I'll let Landon tell that part of the story.
I don't even know what you're trying. I don't even know what you're trying to get at.
Nothing ever actually happened. Forget it happened.
All right. So Landon took Jack out to Subway sandwiches, and
Yeah, I guess you want me to explain some of the like what. Yeah, Jack. My friends have a video game company called Rust, and I'm actually here right now. You can kind of see some of the posters there, but yeah. So he came and checked out their. They got they've sold 100,000 copies of their game. Let's see. Hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. And I always have to I always forget the name. But yeah, it's one of the top selling games on Steam for
and that
VR.
That number, when you first say that number, it in the grand scheme of things doesn't sound like that much, considering we talk about like millions and billions sometimes. But this is a VR game. Like, how many people have like a full on VR setup? To be downloading stuff. Like, that's a lot of downloads.
And you can't they don't do it on like PlayStation VR or you got to have a real PC and the whole Vive setup. Basically. But I don't know. It's a cool game, and they got some new stuff coming up too. I think you could probably say that they're doing it's kind of something like Ready Player One with the omnidirectional treadmill and VR situation, and trying to get that set up. So yeah, cool things on the horizon.
Yeah, what's the game company called again?
So they're called Rust Ltd. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure if you Google that, get to their website and stuff, and they do other stuff as well, other games, and work with other companies to do experiences and stuff. But their biggest, I guess, hit so far is this VR game.
Nice. And how did you meet these guys?
My girlfriend's brother is one of the co-founders. There's 4 co-founders.
Oh, nice.
And they all kind of they moved out here, a number of them anyway. Some of them have moved back since then. But after going to school in New York, Buffalo, I think, and after forming the company, they moved out here and just have been working and doing things.
Nice. And then they let you in.
They gave me keys to the office. I don't know why, but they gave
They're like, you need internet.
Go experience the internet.
Your story is actually pretty interesting, because you've been down in LA for not that long, huh?
Been here since September, so 6-7 months or something.
Oh, maybe
more now. Yeah.
And where were you at before? Where were you at?
Before I was in Connecticut. Southern Connecticut, I guess, New Haven area. I grew up in southeastern Connecticut. So yeah. I just moved out here for the opportunity, and the warm weather.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How's it going?
Pretty good. I'm an Uber driver.
Oh, good.
No. It's good. It's,
and it's been raining, so
so many people.
No warm weather.
No, honestly, it's been very good. There's a lot. I've been going to classes and learning a lot. Going to figure drawing, meeting people such as Jack and other people, in person. And it's just, there's a huge community out here of artists that are just kind of, doing the same thing. And I kind of I want to feed off of their energy. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I want to be surrounded by people that are better than I am, so I can kind of learn from them. Mm-hmm. So, in that aspect, it's going quite well.
Yeah.
And what's some of your goals? And when you moved out there, did you have a couple goals in mind? Like, I'm trying to get into this or do this. These classes help me do this.
So I guess my goal eventually would be to get some sort of full-time job at a studio, animation studio, probably doing possibly, I don't know, storyboards or something, 2D like that. And that's the goal. I mean, I took a storyboard workshop with Chris Wimberly last year.
What's that?
That was good. That was real good. And that kind of got me, into the storyboard world to figure, kind of really do that for the first time. And like I said, now I'm taking this class at the Society of Illustrators, Los Angeles, Pop Secret Gallery. It's in Eagle Rock, and that's a character design class. And that's been going great too. Just really figuring out how to design characters, in a kind of cartoony way, which is something that I just didn't exactly learn in college. It's just going good. I'm definitely improving, and it's kind of like a style that I think I always was kind of doing, but I didn't realize that there was jobs in that kind of style until recently.
Right. Cool.
And it's always interesting when you get out of your comfort zone and go out and do all these networking events and these classes like you're talking about. It's always interesting when all the lessons that you accidentally learn just by watching someone else, and they're putting some brain power behind whatever a character, because of the character doing this, and this, these looks and these different pieces of that character should look like this or looks like that, whatever.
Yeah.
So I know I'm always thinking of certain things, but it's always interesting to see how other people look at the same thing. And that's one of the big reasons why we're doing these fun prompts, is to see how other people dissect these characters and bring them to life. And it's always cool to see people's different interpretations of the same subject.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's really cool that you guys do the fun prompts, and
nice to see you
always
kicking
nice
every
to
week.
see it. Yeah, I try to get in there. I try to get in there when I can. I'll tell you, there's a number of them that I've got on my phone or whatever that I just never finished.
I just in progress.
Yeah.
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 I think
about that.
I think that's really cool that you do that though, like on your phone and stuff, because there's some of the ones that you've come out with that they're legit.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, the phone's cool. I mean, as you guys know, I just got this iPad as well, and that's definitely, you know, helped out a lot.
That Uber thing be killing it, boy.
Yeah, that's really good. You know what I did for this? I took out a loan.
Do we want to know?
No.
I thought you might have gonna said someone left it in my Uber.
Some weird LA story is about to pop out.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said it that way.
You know what I did for this?
No, I was going to put it on my credit card, but they wouldn't like. I was going to see if I get like 6 months interest free. A lot of times they do that, and no, they just pretty much said no to me, all of them. So I just
with your 800 credit score.
I know. Can you believe it? Yeah, I'm surprised myself.
Look at you putting all his business out there.
He said that.
It's good.
That's okay.
Yeah, he likes that.
I took a loan from myself with my savings account and just like.
Oh well, there you go.
I'm paying myself back like every $50 a month for the next 6 months or whatever.
That's how
you should increase the interest rate on that. You got a sucker on the line. So how are you liking it? Like, what apps are you using?
I tried using Adobe Sketch for the first day or two, and then I just bit the bullet and paid $10 for Procreate, and I've been using that ever since.
Yeah.
It did some magic.
Adobe's been working on that too. Their pencil tool is fantastic, and the fact that you can bring in brushes from Photoshop, is pretty neat too. But I don't know what deal with the devil Procreate made that stuff. Ooh. And there's a set of brushes that I got that are next level too. I'll try to find out what they are.
I mean, and I don't even mess around with the brushes too much, but it's just the interface, is just simpler and easier to understand. And, Photoshop Sketch was it's pretty nice. And it does, now they give you the Kyle Webster brushes for free with, Creative Cloud. So it's hard to go wrong with that. But, I don't know. If I want to do something really involved, I guess I can put it on my laptop and use Photoshop.
Yeah. Procreate gets you so far down that line though that you can totally illustrate.
Oh yeah. You can do full on finished pieces for sure.
Yeah. I'm waiting. I'm hoping that they get this. I think I showed you that storyboarder program. I'm hoping they bring that to iOS.
Which one is it?
That would be really nice.
Because storyboarder is a storyboarding program, desktop. It's open source.
Oh.
So I got a couple things that I'm gonna storyboard in there, so I'll probably start playing with that after the weekend.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find
they said that they've got an iPad 1 in development. I don't know if it's been released yet or not, but apparently there is one in development.
For storyboarder?
For storyboarder, yeah.
Oh, so
yeah. Because I was using it on my laptop. That's one reason why I got this iPad, just because I can't draw on this laptop, the windows, and I just have all sorts of issues. But and the storyboarder on the laptop isn't. I don't know. They didn't. I guess it could be updated a little bit better, but the pencil drawing was just unusable for me, unfortunately.
Which laptop do you have?
I have a Sony Vaio Fit. It's a 2-in-1. It flips over.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I bought it, and then the Sony stopped being Sony. They just kind of Sony doesn't sell laptops anymore. They sold the business to another company, so it's kind of like it just doesn't even get supported anymore.
Right.
All the drivers don't work.
Brutal.
Yeah.
That sucks when they do it.
So those brushes I was telling you guys about, I posted a link in the chat room too, but it's if you go to gumroad.com/GEORGVW, dude's name is George Graf von Westphalen.
That's a
mouthful.
And he's got a mega pack of Procreate brushes that that I ended up getting that are pretty spectacular.
Yeah, link those.
So yeah, the link is there. So you're going to classes, you're doing networking events and stuff like that. You said that you're going to go to Ground Zero Animation Expo.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty psyched. Should be cool. I mean, I don't necessarily enjoy doing these networking things. Even doing this is like, it gives me anxiety to do this kind of stuff. I just basically try not to think about it, until it's like right then when that, when it's happening, then you don't have to, that's the way I deal with it anyways. If I just kind of throw myself into this situation, without any prep or anything, that seems to be the best way to do it, I guess.
Gotta be nimble, reactionary. Those Carlos jokes.
No, don't try to give me credit for that. No, it was your joke.
Crickets and stuff.
You're over here like breakdancing this stuff. Anyway, so then but in the meantime, you're hanging out with your girlfriend's brother and all the folks at Rust. And then you took Jack to go check out some of this VR stuff.
Yeah. He played the tutorial for the hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades game. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that was my first time playing a VR experience. I've done I've done like goggle stuff where you just sort of watch something and interact in the 360
like cardboard stuff.
Yeah, and I've worked on VR projects that are more along that line, where it's more of a witness. I don't even know how they classify them, but like as a witness experience versus an interactive experience. So this was really the first one that you have the controllers and you can actually like interact with stuff in the world. Yeah, I'm super impressed, and like it's really cool, but it's a little trippy. I'm still kind of thinking about it, and not even the game specifically, just the existential concept of it all is really kind of weirding me out. But I'm also like a guy who likes to read sci-fi and like read weird like philosophy blogs and like stuff like that. So of course it triggers a whole bunch of weird stuff in me that I've already been thinking about. But to actually have the experience, it's pretty weird. It's pretty weird. And you were saying that you had some similar things too, right?
Well, I mean, it's definitely it's even like the way it is now, the resolution on the goggles, it's not that good.
Yeah.
The computers, from what I've been told, can only process so much, and the resolution it's not like HD or anything like that.
No.
But even still, just putting it on,
it doesn't.
When you're in their environment and you're doing, like I was playing it by myself the other day, and I actually played this level where you're in this kind of basement kind of area, and there's like long hallways, and the game is quite realistic, and I couldn't get this handgun to work, so all I had was this knife, and these hot dogs just were shooting at me this whole time. And I'm just sitting there just trying to stab them with this knife, and it's like, you know, they come around the corner. I'm like, oh, and then I forgot I didn't lock the door or anything to the office, so also half the time this is going on, I'm thinking someone's going to come inside and murder me or something. You know, I'm like, I got. It's creepy.
It is a little bit creepy. It's I mean, yeah, it's so immersive that you.
Yeah.
Because it's weird. Because I mean, that's like one experience of its own. You know, like I was sort of in the like in between where all the guys were still sort of talking to me. You know, because they were guiding me through it and just leading me through the tutorial, whatever. So I was like half in, half out, like a weird, like lucid dream, right? Because I totally felt like I was in the world, totally, you know, you're fully immersive, you feel it. But then I was getting these like God voices, right, that were outside, and I could place them in the real room, but I was simultaneously in. It's really freaking weird because your brain actually accepts being in two places at once.
Yeah. And I think if you weren't doing like the tutorial, if you just did the level, you know, just for, you know, just a few minutes, your brain will forget about the outside world, you know, real quick.
Right. Yeah, you know, and then after you guys were kind of quiet for a while and I was just messing around, then I was in, you know, just kind of in there for like 10 minutes, and then you take it off and it's just like there's like a good like 5-second thing where I don't know. It's like you're coming to. It's really bizarre.
And even with the newer stuff, where like I think on the new Vive, the small headset version, the wireless one, they don't have the headphones anymore. They put the speakers like right inside the inside rim of your thing, so like the sound shoots right into your ear. So it's a weird thing of being omnipresent, where like you hear all the game audio, you definitely see it and experience it, but you can still hear people around you talking. So like if you're getting instructions from somebody or whatever, like it's like what Jack's saying, you're hearing in both places at once. And now it's interesting to see your take, Jack, now on it, since you've experienced true VR and what we call VR, and how people confuse that with like just the 360 stitched video or 360 video. You know, it's totally different from actual VR. It makes you feel different. Yeah.
But the VR that you guys are talking about, it's like a 3D environment. You're actually walking through.
Yeah, it's a game. You know, like picture like an Unreal, you know, first-person shooter environment, and you're walking around it, but it's fully 360. You know, there's no edge of a screen or nothing. And then on top of it, you have the controls, so you can pick up objects, and because it's, you know, like a Wii or like what was the Xbox one, you know, it's because it's sensing the location of all that and it's got all the sensors, you physically reach down and you pick up the weapon, and then you have it in your hand, and you can like mess around with it with the other controller. Like you're actually interacting with these non-physical objects. But it's amazing how quickly your body just kind of accepts that, and you're like I mean, your eyes and brain are so well trained and so well linked that it's like, even though this thing's fake and I don't have anything in my hand, my other hand knows exactly where to go on this non-existent. It's really really weird.
Really cool how it becomes intuitive, and there's even like emergent gameplay happens just because people kind of understand how to do the mechanics and of whatever set game. You know, it's really cool.
That was the more you were talking about it in our chat, the more I got taken back to a couple of weeks ago. I went to one of these floating spa things.
Yeah.
And basically for those of you that don't know, imagine this pod. It's full of warm water that's like body temperature water.
Yeah.
And then you get into this thing and then you close it. So everything around you is the same temperature, your body, the water, the air, everything. And you're just floating. And it's amazing how your brain forgets that the rest of your body is there.
Yeah.
So I couldn't feel my toes, I couldn't feel my back, I couldn't feel my arms, none of that stuff. And it was just like my brain was like, okay, well, I don't have to worry about anything because everything's gone.
Right. I don't have to worry about the physical world anymore.
Yeah, and then your brain just shifts into something that's completely different. And I fell asleep a couple times and had some really crazy like light shows and stuff like that were happening. And so yeah, it's the more you talked about it, Jack, the more I was like, it's just it's funny how complex our brain is, but yet how easy it is to trick into.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's VR or these floating things or whatever the case may be. It's so easy to trick your brain into doing something completely or thinking something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started getting a little deeper than just a game to basically, you know, how like for those of you that haven't watched the Matrix trilogy, spoiler alert.
If you haven't seen any of the matrices, go at least to watch the first one. Please.
Yeah, the first one is really good, and then it's really downhill from there. But how there's some folks that think that with VR moving and becoming as real as it is now, who's to say that we're not in a VR environment already?
Yeah, and the weird, okay, to prime this, I obviously already knew about this theory, and I've already have read articles sort of alluding to it, and I'm also like a huge fan of the Matrix and Westworld and like all these types of things that sort of allude to these types of alternate realities, or, you know, reality is perception based. So obviously my head was already a little primed with that, but coming out of that was like oddly one of the first things that went through my head. Like when I kind of came back to the quote unquote real world, I was like, man, like this could totally just be like a simulation of like, you know, like at any moment I could like wake up in another place and totally be like, well, that was fun, you know, but now I'm in this world, you know? And the weird part is I feel like if it's a true or it's some sort of like layered simulation or universe or however you want to view it, I feel like my other brain in this new world would be totally accepting of that. Like I'll come out of this one and it'll be like, whoa, and I'll be like, that was awesome. And I'll just like continue on my life in that place. It's kind of like the weirdest, like this like loop cycle. It's really trippy. Yeah. Little existential weirdness going on for sure.
Landon, have you ever had that weird sensation like that?
I mean, yeah, you can like, I don't think you need like VR for that.
You don't. I've had it without it, but this like was like, bam, there it is.
Yeah. It's, you know, it's a bit trippy to think about that. I kind of like
substances.
Well, I have actually. I
have. Are
you talking about being in that when you're in the
kind of having? Well, there's many forms of it. Yeah, there's many forms of it. I mean, I think people can experience it coming in and out of dreams. There's like that kind of half dreaming state where you're kind of in both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's also like lucid dreaming where you're dreaming, but you're also totally aware that you have a sleeping body that is creating this world, which is the gnarliest feeling ever.
It's the best.
It is. It can be really terrifying, but it can also be, if you know kind of how to control it and learn to be okay with it, it can also be really amazing and kind of enlightening. But then there's also like, you know, stress disorders and like effectively linked to, you know, with like disassociative and like derealization episodes where you have these bizarre episodes where you sort of feel like you're in a stage play or like in a movie and And like that's like when you're like starting to like really head out there. And normal people can have it like in really like when they're really stressed out.
Yeah.
But you generally don't have them frequently unless you need some attention.
I mean, yes, I've had like definitely had experiences where I was like,
yeah,
it's like, like I wouldn't say out of body, but kind of like you're just like, it feels like, you're in a movie,
yes.
sometimes at
yes.
least.
Yeah. Well, that I think is what they call it as derealization, where you have this sort of separational view of reality, and you sort of view yourself as somehow separate from the reality you're in.
A couple of times when having those ones, like I think most common when people do experience those, it's like it's the ones where you're like aware for a couple seconds before you wake up. And either something scary happens where whoever you're talking to just says something you don't like, and you know that you're dreaming, so it kind of freaks the person out and they wake up, or even longer, if it happens even longer, then it turns into more of a nightmare type of deal where you're sleeping but you can't wake up because whatever's happening is so trippy or so weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually those ones where it's kind of off kilter, like you get the whole somebody's face is weird looking or it's kind of off or whatever, and it freaks you out, but you're sleeping, but people get the whole like realization they can't wake themselves up or something, and then they wake up in a cold sweat. Yeah, so. But I've had other friends that said they've had those things where like they totally know, and then like, so I thought up this. Next thing you know, I was here. Like that's pretty cool if you can control it like that. If there's something you could take to control your dream like that, where you're like, okay, cool, I know I'm dreaming. Let's do this tonight for my dreams.
There's definitely things that you can do to do that. I've done it before, not on purpose, but
yeah.
Like when I was trying to quit cigarettes a number of times, but like, taking the pill, there's like a pill, there's a patch, I think it was mostly the patch actually, but that gives you some crazy dreams and like really lucid dreams.
Really? The patch does, really?
Yeah, I've heard, what is it, Chantix or whatever? That one is
Chantix.
Like, that one's known for giving you like really gnarly dreams.
Yeah.
Really?
And I don't remember my dreams. I never do. So if I like have a lucid dream and I remember it, it's like really kind of weird to wake up from that for me, I guess.
Really? Wow.
Charlie, you guys work on VR stuff all the time, yeah?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're full VR studio, AR, all other things, interactive and cutting edge and new. But yeah, so it's weird. I remember first doing the VR when we got there, when we started doing the VR stuff, and it's always fascinating about hearing people's responses to when they first did it. Like Jack's one really fascinates me because like he really seemed like he had a good time, and I would love for him to do some more because I think it affects him differently. And I've heard this happen before with other people where they get really like amped and like, whoa, I've demoed it for people a couple of different times where they come out and we could have the simplest demo of you standing in an environment and they come out like wide-eyed and like a little bit of a sweat, like, yo, that was cool. I was like, it was legit, just the demo, chill out. But then maybe it's a little bit more commonplace for me now because I've been doing it for the last 3 or 4 years back with the old clunky headsets, and we keep getting new ones in. Like, it seems nice that we just like, let's have that one. Let's get that developer one. Cool. And we always get these newer ones that like, we still yet to get the ones where they have the wide vision. I've been seeing a couple of those online where it literally looks like you have a triangle in your face. Because it's like, like HD 4K or whatever, there's a couple of those kind of type out there that we haven't tried yet. But yeah, it's always.
Do they have anything for that? Like, do they have any like software to run on those kinds of things?
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to it being no different than like having a really nice ultra wide screen, you know, because you can develop for that. And really, there's no limitation, but the only limitation is the headset. So if the headset is developed and it's something you can use, and I forget what it's called, we might have to do some sleuthing or people in the chat look it up. But it looks like a big ass triangle. Can't remember what it's called, but you hook it up the same way, and it's just that the screen's more 4K, or was it 1080 at least, something like that. So it's a nice big high res, but it's literally like this, you know. So it gives you like a wider frame of vision, you know, looking left to right. And it's pretty cool. But I love people's responses. I think that I'll never forget, this was a couple years ago. One of our early VR games, we did it on Unreal. We did it for McDonald's. And one of our calling cards at Next Now is that we also do all the testing and like user testing. We bring in like 10 people. So we bring in like regular people, and it's the full on like user testing of the, you know, which is some of the most interesting people you ever meet in these like temp jobs. They're like where they just go around and do this testing for stuff. I've grown to like treat them like I treat people when I'm walking around with Carlos, because Carlos attracts the most weirdest people in the world. And you would think, chat, that I'm just like picking on Carlos again, but this is like a fact. He's the nicest person. He's the nicest person in the world, but at the same time, he attracts the weirdest people. Always. Like the weirdest people that want to come up and talk to us. Always. You know, like I think in LA it was like weird Uber drivers that didn't know how to drive, and like, or like people just yelling at us for whatever reasons. You know,
I was hanging out with Jack in the Santa Monica promenade.
I knew you were gonna
Some homeless dude was laying on the bench. We were walking by. Homeless dude picks up his head, didn't even get up all the way, just picks up his head, looks at me and says, "Hey, fatty, Satan's coming to visit you tonight."
That one still clearly creeps you out.
Jack,
one of my favorite ones.
This happened. Like stuff like that's happened all the time.
All the time.
It's so cool you experience that. I don't know what it is, Carlos, that you give off.
And then Jack and I were walking down the promenade the
same night.
And I almost said crackhead Whitney Houston, but
you
we all
did say it
know
because I remember.
We all know she looked like. But this is back when Whitney was still with us, and this was before we found out she was actually a crackhead. So it might have been the real Whitney, but. This lady looked like a homeless crackhead Whitney Houston, and she was talking to herself. She's super animated, and we're walking by. She starts clapping her hands. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? We just shook our heads and just kept walking.
Like Landon, they look at Carlos and they want to talk to him. It don't have to be homeless people. It could be random people. It could be a too friendly like waitress or waiter like that wants to just like be Carlos's friend.
He must make eye contact with a lot of people.
I something. I don't know. Look through their soul and they have to talk to them.
Like there was one time I was in Chicago. I was getting on the bus. I'm sitting there, and then some dude gets on. Some white dude gets on, and the bus driver was a black lady, and he caught an attitude with her and started calling her all kinds of M-bombs. And then he looks at me and says, "Right?" I was like, "I'm not with him." I am not with him. He kicked him off the bus. I'm like, "I'm not that one, dude. I'll play with most people, but not with you."
so anyway, like it's interesting, nice people and interesting weird people, but just interesting people that like make a career out of like doing these different type of user testings and stuff like that. And I had a person we did a VR experience for McDonald's, who were partnering with their NASCAR division to give you guys the experience of, or give people the experience of being in a pit crew, right? So you put on the headset, you're instantly in a big race, you're down the pit crew, you look up, you have the sea of people and you're waiting for the car to come, and Jamie McMurray or whatever tells you what to do. Right? So in our old building before we moved, we had like one of those like places where you go if you're doing team building type of things. Like, you know, it's got like basically spaces for you to come meet, and like you have a day to like, as a corporate company, bond or whatever, you know. So we called some of those people down that worked there to try VR because we know they hadn't tried it or whatever. So we get this one lady or one girl in. She probably was in her mid-20s, right? So relatively young. And we explain it to her. We tell her this is what you're going to do. You know, you're going to act like you're in a, you know, NASCAR pit crew and change a tire or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But we'll tell you how to do it. Because everybody says, I don't know how to change my tire in real life. It's just like, we'll tell you how to do it. Don't worry. You point and click. It won't be a big deal. Okay, so but we don't tell them specifically what to do because we want to see if they understand how to take direction and stuff like that.
Right.
So we say, okay, just watch the tutorial and it'll help you out. We put the headset on her, right? Instantly she goes, ooh. You know, just ooh, like, right? I was like, it's cool. You're still here. It's just here are the controllers. And like, do you hear the music? Do you hear the guy talking to you? Yeah. All right, listen to what your head is saying. Okay, cool. Got it.
Listen to what your head is saying.
Listen to what it's telling you to do. Okay. Now we have a project manager, me standing there, maybe the programmer at the computer watching the screen, seeing what they see. And then the project manager is taking notes, right? Their reactions and seeing what happens. The experience is about 2 to 3 minutes, if you let it just go throughout, right? Depending, it was a time thing. How fast can you change 2 tires? And give the dude a Big Mac. Don't ask me why we did that, dude, but that's just marketing. Anyway, so she's sitting there, or she's standing there, headset on, like this, hands straight out like this. Didn't move. Frozen. Like, you know how, so like there's people in the office working, you know, because they're used to seeing this, and then like slowly, I'm a people watcher. Slowly you see my coworkers like stop what they're doing. Stare. Because this girl was frozen. Not in really fear, but just didn't know how to process where she was at. No, just in general, like she asked a couple questions that didn't really make sense. Of like, hey, it looks really big in here. like yeah, everything's to scale, it's cool, but she froze. Like she could move, she could hear him just fine, and that was like the weirdest reaction that I've seen. Like where it's just like, you know, sensory overload. Yo, this is like some next gen type stuff. I don't want to do this. Like, and she was just like, and then we take the headset off, and I go to like take the headset off, and the project manager's like, wait, just let it. The programmer's like, wait, just let it happen. I was like, but she's not doing anything. This is what you have to do. You just gotta let her. You have to let it go run its whole course so we can figure out like what she's not getting. And like, she just didn't get it. Like, she just didn't get what to do. She heard what to do. She saw all the things, so we see exactly what she's seeing. But like, it was so much of a new thing for her that like literally she was like frozen and she wasn't scared, but like she didn't move. She was kind of like didn't want to move, right? No one's ever reacted to like that since, you know, that I've seen. But it stuck with me because it was a weird type of frozen in space where like she held her hands out, they were perfectly still. She was perfectly still, like still breathing, but like almost like, you know, hypnotized type of frozen in place. Like a couple times we said, "You all right?" Yeah. Cool. You see everything? Yeah. Here it's going. He's talking to me now. Okay.
You think she slipped into a coma or something?
Yeah, like a weird, like, you know, omnipresent coma. Never had anybody else react the same way. It's interesting, and everybody's reaction since that time has been okay. Where like we've had corporate clients come in, or just people coming in learning about things, or we've had user groups and like different types of like meetups, and like sometimes you get like it's always like the business guy who comes in from a meetup that gets too into it. Where like the best thing about like VR right now, which makes it good for my industry, experiential industry, is it still has a cord. So I'm so used to like running demos that like I use that cord as a leash, low key. I'll tell you guys because you need it. And once those things go like wireless, it's gonna be really hard for me not to stop somebody from running into the wall.
Yeah,
because like the same demo we're still running now. The same demo. I've seen a guy get up, full sprint, and run toward the other end of the thing. And I'm like,
oh my.
So now I'm so used to it, I don't even like freak out, as he's running, because his whole little work group that's here with him watching him is like, I'm like, don't worry, this is what the leash is for. And I just give a little tug. I like give a little tug, like, yo, dude, I can't have you run into the wall. It's not really good for business.
Now,
legit calm down. So I just give him a little tug on the back of his head, and like they usually.
In your experiences, do you still have the, can that person see the virtual walls?
Yes.
Yeah.
They don't.
Okay,
it's
so
weird.
They just ignore them.
Those things. Yeah. The common person.
Yeah.
It's going to take you a couple times before you say, I'm like, yo, when you get close to the wall, there's going to be a wireframe wall that pops up and tells you, hey, this is the wall. You'll smack your face if you keep walking. But they seem to forget it. And those are some of the UI things that like we deal with as a company, and the people I don't think talk about enough with VR. That's some of the main challenges. It's not making the content. There's a technical challenge with that, making everything run at 90 frames per second so that no one gets sick. Optimizing all my models, optimize all the textures, and still giving that high photorealistic fidelity if you need that, or that really artistic, looking content if you needed to go that route. But the hardest thing I feel about VR is like the user experience on directing a person what to do, and like having a HUD-less, a movable canvas, right? Usually you can have a HUD in regular video games where you can stick a timer in the bottom right-hand corner or top right-hand corner, or do something interesting. Sorry. Here you can't do that with VR because literally your whole screen moves, right? You can do some cool Iron Man, Tony Stark type of, cool HUD things that kind of are floating in place, but it really doesn't work. It gets broken when people start moving their head like this, and then those images that you have on that canvas don't work. So it's a lot of contextual things of having stuff in the environment, blinky things, showing things, and especially if you're trying to do it in an artistic way or in like a more of a buttoned up corporate way, you have to find some things that are not gimmicks that don't look weird or look too campy to do. So, but people don't. I think there need to be more talks at these different conferences about user experience for VR or even AR too. Like, what do you do with AR? In those instances when you're trying to come up with like UI and like call out things and get people to, hey, look over here, like a 360 VR like cinematic experience. There's a bunch of them out there, a bunch of them that Unreal's done, that's hooked up, movie style with like live action with a real actress or actor, that has believable animations. But the one thing where I break it all the time, I'm like, well, what happens if I just want to look over here and look this way, right? You miss all your content that's over here. Because people do that. They're like getting fixated. Hey, yo, there's water over here. Yo, dude, legit, you should be listening to the dude behind you. And how do you like focus people's attention? Some of the things that like more and more developers are like really, really.
Hey, there's water over here.
It's literally like, oh, squirrel.
That's kind of like regular real life, though.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm
people be interested in what they want to be interested in.
Yeah, kind of, right?
Right. And that's why those new places like Jack, I think you should go out to the Void you know, and do a Friday night there and try the VR experience there, because they've done the whole facility 1-to-1. There's a couple different ones across the country. I think there's 3 or 4.
Yeah, there's one right at the Galleria here in Glendale.
Yeah, like you got to try that one, because that's all 1-to-1. Backpack on, kind of wireless, right? You put it on, you look to your right, you see Carl standing there. You look to the left, you see me. Pick up your gun. You pick up your gun. You just start walking.
It's getting weird.
You just start walking because everything is mapped out 1-to-1. You touch the wall, you're touching the wall in game. You do a full run sprint. You can do a full sprint, not running anything, because you see where you're going. I hear it's cool. I haven't done it yet.
What is it providing that's different from the room you're in? Stuff is all textured out and like new. Like
you're in like a dungeon, or you're in like a futuristic one of them. I think right now what they're doing is Star Wars experiences. So,
right.
Yeah. So it's full. It's the full experience. I need you to make your way over to sick bay. Go. Following the signs, and it seems to be like what you always wanted it to be in laser tag, but what you got was playing laser tag in a dark warehouse. but you as a kid are having fun anyway. But if you really think about what it was, it's a lot of fog, and strobe lights,
and everything's painted black,
and people are running and falling over each other because they basically playing in the dark. But this seems like the real life laser tag that you've always wanted to play, or a video game or whatever.
I looked into it. It's about like $30, I think, for.
It's not bad.
For an hour, I think, is how long it is. Maybe half hour. I don't know.
I thought it'd be a lot more, but cool. We have one here, but it's not the Void. It's something different. So these things are popping up now, and different companies are jumping on the bandwagon, if you will. But yes, so VR is a super, super cool thing.
It looks like Shiloh has tried the float tanks too. Noelle is way too scared.
Because it's just you in it, right? It's like you're floating in the middle of the ocean by yourself in a dark.
Yeah, it's sensory deprivation. So
I've floated in the ocean, and that doesn't compare to as cool as it is as these float tanks are.
How much is it? I've been looking into it. I was thinking about trying it.
It's like maybe $60 for an hour, maybe.
Do they paint the inside, or is it just black? Like, does it feel once the doors close or once the hatch is closed that like it's just you and you see your body, your whole body, you're able to like
I mean
kind of look around like
so you can do it a couple different ways. I went all the way in. I just wanted to. That's just me. Very rarely do I ever like tiptoe into something. Speaking of which, Raccoon softball player tiptoeing.
In a float tank.
So I went in, and so first you walk in the room, and then a lot like what Landon was talking about, like you're wearing this VR thing, you don't know if someone's going to come in and kill you. So I locked the door. And then, you take a shower, and then the pod is there and it's open. So then you get in and the water's super warm and everything. They have this little head floaty thing that you put your head in, and you close the hatch, and you can have it halfway open. You can have it all the way closed, or you can crack it with a towel, whatever. I closed it all the way. It is so dark and warm in there that with your eyes closed and your eyes opened, it was basically the same thing. You couldn't see anything. And so there's no vision. There's no
how deep is
like there was no feeling because everything is the same temperature. So it's like if you take your brain, just take it out and have it float. That was it. Like you could
feel that experience. Feel like that. Is it like a couple seconds after you close the hatch? Once
you've never done it before, like I got a little disoriented.
That's what I get afraid of. Yeah.
Because I started bumping into the wall. Because I guess when I first settled in, I just kind of, when you get in a pool, you just get in and you just kind of let the momentum take you. In a hot tub, same thing. this thing, the water is so still that any movement, you'll start floating and kind of touching the walls and stuff, and that ruins it for you. So then you push off the wall a little bit, but then you start floating and you go to the other side. And so, I had my arms out and I was trying to feel the walls so I can center myself. And then I felt walls on one side, but I didn't feel walls on the other side. So I was like, what the hell? And I got a little frustrated more than anything, but I did not. Shiloh asked, did you start hearing your heartbeat really loud? No, I didn't.
Whoa, really?
No. Like I could feel my brain and that was it. I couldn't feel anything else.
This sounds
and so I just kind of like closed my eyes and it didn't really matter because you couldn't see anything. And then you just start thinking. But then when you start thinking, you convince yourself to stop thinking. And then again, it's really weird. I kept thinking to myself, man, I can't feel my feet. Which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, yeah, I can't even feel my legs and your toes and all that other stuff. So you literally unplug.
Are you floating on your back at this point?
Yeah. Because if you float on your stomach, you'll drown.
Wait, what? No, I'm just asking because you like said you were like doing this at first.
Yeah, I was laying on my back, but I was trying to.
Oh, you were doing this. Yeah. I thought he was like sitting, squatting. Trying
to be holding his breath for an hour. Wow.
No, how deep is this thing? Is it like bathtub deep or whatever?
A little bigger. Imagine a really big bathtub.
Okay. Is it like a? I was thinking like a tube.
There's pictures of it on my Instagram. So if you go to Instagram.com/coconutjustice and scroll down a little bit.
I'm thinking of a tube or something you're in or something. Yeah.
It's almost like an egg, almost.
Yeah,
but it's flattened down a little bit. But yeah, exactly like Shiloh said earlier. He said it was like dreaming but being awake.
I feel like you go in there just to think about stuff. Like, I gotta suss out this problem.
Yeah.
Shut everything out and just only have the one issue and come out.
I mean, kind of, because that's all you got left, right? I mean,
that's all you have left.
You're forced to be in your head. And
can you imagine you had something to figure out? Like a project or drawing, whatever. Like, you go in there and say, okay, cool, I'm only gonna think of this one thing. And then like try to work.
And how crappy of a VR game would that be? A VR game called Float Lab, and then you just go in there and it's dark.
There's a little bit of flashlight every time you bump into a wall.
Right. Dang. Yeah, but no, it was definitely weird. I was wide awake, but the sensation was a dream.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Was it worth it? Like monetarily? Was it like how was it an experience that you want to do again?
Yeah, I definitely want to do it again.
You said it's about $30. That's not a bad price.
No, I think it was.
No, he said it was $60.
It was either $50 or $60. Yeah.
For an hour?
I would do it again. I would do it again, definitely. But
so,
I mean,
what is
not if I'm hungry?
Yeah. See, I mean, you guys did a pretty good explanation of what it feels like to be in it. What's the transition period out of it? Like when what happens? Is the timer go off?
Are you super
timer go off and the hatch opens, or what's up?
Yeah.
No, so what happens is when you
does the light turn on and you're coming through a birth canal?
Yeah.
Is your skin all pale and white when you come out? Do you have to regrow your hair for the next week?
Yeah. Could you imagine? You get into one of these things, but it's full of Nair.
Oh,
you stupid. You're just laying in it. You're just floating in it. And just your back. Your back and all your back hair is gone.
All your hair is gone.
Your back, it's buttery smooth food.
You come out, you got no eyebrows.
To your calf.
You come out, you got no eyebrows. People are like, why are you so surprised all the time?
Like, why is the back of your leg so shiny?
Just the back.
Just
like
the
a perfect float line.
Just the calves. You have the weirdest tan line that goes all the way up the side of your leg.
So when you first go in, everything is warm and dark and everything, but then there's like a little bit of music that plays, but that new age, just music with no words, no nothing.
Yeah. There's music.
So then eventually after 5 minutes, it kind of like it then volumes down. And then that's it. Then you're there. And then when there's like 5 minutes left, then the music starts to build back up. And then when your hour's done, this voice is like, your session is over. Please exit the pod and
welcome to
show 47.
It is now 2048.
Right. Like
man.
That's what weirds me out, man.
Ooh. Could you imagine that going in there, coming out,
and you're never
years later?
Shiny legs and all.
That would be crazy. Yeah. You'd be all pruny.
That's how you know the back of your legs are like super shiny and slick, and the rest of the body's like pruny. You're like, oh, you did it. Welcome, friend. Wear this white robe.
He looks like us.
Walk backwards so we can see your development.
Yeah, so Shiloh said it takes a while to get in the zone. Seems like there's no clear.
Yeah, is there stuff in the water?
Yeah,
it's salt, right? It's mostly it's like half salt.
Yeah, it's like Epsom salt.
Oh wow!
So here's a pro tip. If you play a lot of sports, I was a catcher for a long time, so after the games, my legs would be trash, my back would be trash.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd go home, start a warm bath, and pour some Epsom salt in there, and it just kind of pulls all the pain away.
That's that old school trick none of y'all young bucks know about. This
don't smoke it, sit in it.
Yeah, Epsom salt. You know what I used to start doing, Carlos? Though you soak in Epsom salt in like the warm bath or whatever, like right as you get home. Right after you get home, straight to the bathroom. Don't talk to me. I'm going upstairs. I'll be back in an hour. Like, and you soak for like half an hour, throwing a podcast or whatever. Then what I started doing, and I started doing this before I worked out or before I played ball too, was like I jump in the shower and do a super cold shower.
Yeah, man, that's the Russian method.
Right? Like
a lot of the gyms out here have like the cold dunk.
Dude, that's the best ever afterwards, because then like you're all warm and then you jump right in the shower after you get out the Epsom salt and like you take a cold shower. Now you got to get over being a little scared about it because you're like, yeah, it's cold. But then once you get in there, you're like, and then it's like revitalized. So when you get out, as you're drying off, you're like, man, I can go play ball again. Like it feels like you can like you can go do this.
That's another thing. That's another thing that these float places have. They have what's called cryotherapy, where you walk in. I think you walk in butt naked, but it's like negative 250 degrees, and you go in for a couple minutes and then you come out.
Minutes?
Because if you're in there for longer than a couple minutes.
No, that's what I'm saying. That even seems too long.
I think it's like a minute or two.
I think I've heard Joe Rogan talk about it on his podcast. I think he said like something like the top he does is like 2 minutes or something.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Dude,
and that's supposed to. It has the same medical benefits as if like when you when you hurt yourself, you have a bruise or something, you put some ice on it.
Yeah.
So imagine putting ice on your entire body. Like your inflammation goes down, all that stuff.
Yeah, because I would always have trouble with my knees. They would like throb, and like to the point where you can like they would hurt like bending, like going downstairs after playing in the morning would be brutal. But I had this like back in high school too. It was like I think it's called Osgood or something like that. I think it's something from like I grew too fast or something like that. You know, and got really tall faster than what the knees can handle or something like that. I forget what it was. But so it's always been that way. Like during like once a year, you have the crazy hell week of tryouts or the crazy like conditioning month, and then you have tryouts and all this other stuff. You're constantly doing these like crazy, you know, workouts after school. So like by dinner time, it's just like you're like done. So the episode used to always work, but it's not till like the last couple years when I would play ball, or whatever, like the soreness would like start setting in like on the ride home, you know, like the drive home. As soon as you get home and you get out the car, it was like, oh, getting old.
Everything's super tight.
This whole cold thing of like soaking in Epsom salt and then doing the cold shower afterwards was awesome. But then I was like, oh, maybe this will work in the morning. It's the best way to get ready to go work out in the morning is if you take a cold shower in the morning, like, because you know you're sleepy or like whatever, trying to wake up. That wakes you up. As soon as you're done, as you're like drying off, you're like, all right, cool. Like it feels like the middle of the day.
Yeah,
it's still dark outside. Jackson, do you do the cold?
There was like a good like 2-year period where I was only doing cold showers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then I like slipped back into the comfort of the nice warm shower, and then it's really hard to break.
Yeah.
You probably talk about if you did it for
I'm
work.
too bougie for that.
I was doing it for this.
I was doing it just because like it.
Doesn't it make you feel weird? I think Joe Rogan's talked about it a couple other places I've read. It's something happens to your brain as you're drying off and like the whole body of like as your body starts to warm back up. It's something weird. Almost
your brain is like, holy crap, I didn't die. Sweet.
Yeah, and like you get all these like this feel good like sensation coming.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of it is purely just like there's obviously a rush of adrenaline, and there's like all the blood just gets like sucked to the surface, and like, you know, so I think it certainly immediately stimulates circulation and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. There's like a lot of weird articles that claim there might be something else going on, but I don't know. It's a little woo-woo for me, but it's just kind of the physical activity. I mean, it is absolutely the best way of waking up. But man, that in and of itself, of convincing yourself to jump in a cold shower in the morning is half the task.
Yeah, if anybody had like a video of like, you know, like the dance you do where you're like, all right, yeah, and you're like in the corner of your shower, like, all right, you know it's cold. You're like, and it touches you a little bit. You're like, you know, shoot, and then you have to like. Usually, I just have to dunk my head in, and then just once I get my head in, I'm just like, okay, you let it sit there for a couple of seconds, and then you just let it go over your whole body, and you feel the like adrenaline going from like the top of your head, like it's trying like to beat the water down your body, you know, like so they can be like, and then like just sit there.
I used to have to do that. I used to have to do that mess when I was in the Army. After that, I'm like, I did my time. We're good.
Yeah, he underneath the water and Carlos get triggered. No, sir.
You should take a cold shower. I'm like, I'd like one little knob to the cold side, but it's still nice and warm.
Yeah,
I've done my time.
Mm-hmm. You know what I used to start doing is like take the warm shower, and then as you in the shower, right, I just start turning it cold, then colder. So I'm already under the water. And I'm feeling it get colder and colder and colder till I can't stand it. Like till it's all the way cold. Then I just try to like stand in there and count to like, you know, 30 or something. And try to figure out how long I can stay in it. And then I just like, okay, I'm done. And then like once I come out, it's great.
I've tried that same technique. I last 1 second.
Right? As you start to feel it, because you know it's coming. You know it's coming.
Right. I'm like, all right, 1 second. Yep. Okay, that was good. Thank you.
I think that and that's just it. Like if you're gonna do it to yourself, your brain is gonna be like, "Why you playing, dude?" Mm-hmm. Like if someone else reached in and cranked it to the cold, and okay, maybe. Like, okay, you got me. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that to myself. Like, no, dude, I'm a grown ass man.
Please clip that.
Take a nice warm shower. I take my nice hot bath with Epsom salt. Let the muscles relax a little bit. Like Charlie's dance. What was it earlier?
Charlie's dance.
Yeah, but I was like, where you're like
doing a dance
Carlos dance trying to feel the walls of the car. And it's like it's weird. We are the world. You know, the other thing is, which I never did in high school or in while playing, because it was always just a cold shower, was I still don't know if I'd ever be able to do the whole what football guys do, jump in the tank full of ice, you know, and sitting there.
Yeah.
That's some weird torture.
See that? Yeah, it is, but especially those guys, I think the pain in their muscles is so much worse than sitting in a cold, icy bath.
Okay. Like if they didn't do it in the Titan,
kind of just starts to numb a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, because you're talking about getting out of the car after a basketball game, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's brutal. Now imagine doing that day in and day out, and that's your profession.
Yeah.
Like you have to.
You know what I think I would equate it to feeling like is the only thing that type of pain that I guess it would feel like, even though your bones would be like when I tore my patella in the recovery process. The recovery process was like, cool, you can like do these exercises and start your physical therapy. If you slack off, you can be that dude with the limp for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Like my leg can only, if this is like normal bending, right? After the surgery was done, my leg can, if you said bend your right leg, it boom, there's it. That's all it would bend. So you would literally have to grab your leg. I used to do this at the computer screen when I'm doing artwork. I would grab my leg and like bend it, like force it to bend, right? Now the sensation of that bending felt like when you break a stick, basically. Like it was just like, I'm a real descriptive person, right? So you're breaking that stick, and then now it's bent, and you're like, and you're like, okay, let's just keep it bent for the next, minute and a half or whatever, but then you realize as it's bent, and you're like trying to not focus on the pain or not focus on your leg being bent because this is the exercise you have to do. You realize, hey, dumbass, you got to open your leg back up to get it unbent.
And that doesn't tickle either.
Yeah. So then it's like, and then you break that stick again. And I did that like for hours.
Wow.
Good thing about being persistent. Like, everybody's persistent with things. I was like persistent with like getting this leg to be perfect again. So you just keep doing that till you can't do that no more. So then it allows you to have focus on, like, say if you were drawing something. I think I was modeling something. Some of the coolest things where I was like focusing on just the littlest things because you're trying to not think about the leg and you're trying to do something else. And yeah, man, like that was crazy. So I can only imagine that's probably what it feels like a little bit if those football players like go home and don't get in, like wake up the next morning from being, ran over by a 350-pound linebacker or something.
That's what upsets me about people saying, "Oh, why don't football players just shut up and play football?" They're going to have a short lifespan.
Yeah.
They know it. And they're literally putting their bodies on the line. Every play can very easily be the last play that they ever play.
And they're not even getting.
And you're yelling at them, just shut up and catch the ball. Why don't you just shut up and sit back on your couch?
They came out.
It's so
weird.
Frustrating to me.
It should be interesting to see what the football season is now, because like I think you have another subject, you have all the owners and stuff of that stuff still fanning all those flames of like the Kaepernick stuff. I think something came out today where they were like basically was it like a public memo or something about, you know, like standing during the anthem and all this other stuff.
So basically the NFL came out with a new rule that said if you don't stand for the national anthem, you're going to get fined.
Yeah. So it's going to be penalties. But you know, a lot of like newscasters and stuff said like it's been so, you know, diluted with the wrong reasons of why they were kneeling and stuff like that, and all these extra fake narratives that's been happening, you know, of disrespecting and all this other stuff and flag and all the other stuff that never had anything to do with it. That like, I think they're gonna be giving out a lot of fines this year. Like, I think the whole team is just gonna be getting fined like crazy. When all they have to do is say, "Yo, we just want you to stand." Like, just say it. Because if you're the owners, they tiptoe around this whole thing where they don't want to say it. Like, just say you don't care. You want them to stand and like be done with it. You know,
right?
Don't do all this.
What's your perspective, Carlos, as being a ex-soldier? What is your perspective on people with the flag and not standing, and you know all that kind of stuff? Do you feel like that's a personal affront to what you did out there? No, not at all. As a matter of fact, what Colin Kaepernick and all those guys are doing is the same exact thing that me and everyone else did. We're protecting our rights to do things like protest peacefully. Now, if Colin Kaepernick said cops need to stop shooting black people, and then he took a M16 and went into the crowd and got to work, then I would have a problem with that. But you're talking about a guy who was peacefully protesting, and then there was a veteran that reached out to him and said, "You're being disrespectful sitting down. Why don't you just take a knee?" And it was that veteran that told him to start taking a knee. Right? So he didn't do the knee thing on his own. He was trying to show respect to the veteran because he never wanted this to be a show of disrespect. It has nothing to do with the flag. It has nothing to do with the troops. It has nothing to do with anything. It has everything to do with bringing attention to police brutality. And so to me, I think the problem is deeper than whether or not this dude is taking a knee and showing respect or disrespect for the flag. That's never been why he did it. If he was doing this to be a jerk, hang him out to dry. Nobody cares. But that's not what he's doing. And whenever people say he's disrespecting the flag and he's not doing this and he's not doing that and all this other stuff and blah 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 blah, shut up. Shut up. Because you're focusing on the wrong thing. Everybody wants to focus on him disrespecting the flag. However, no one talks about the fat people that walk up and down the stairs while the national anthem is happening, and they have the pretzels, they have the beers, and they have the hot dogs. No one says shit to them. No one says anything to the camera people that are sitting there with their cameras on and all this stuff. The announcers that are talking and doing all that, all the radio people, all that stuff. Nobody ever brings attention to those guys showing disrespect to the flag. You can't pick and choose. Either everyone does it or you leave people alone to do what the hell they want. Yeah, it's an interesting perspective because it does seem like people kind of skew it to their own narrative.
Right. They definitely skewed it, man. They definitely. That's how they ran with it. Everybody made up all these narratives of why he's doing it, and
that's how you take the energy out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because no one.
I didn't realize it started that way. I didn't realize that a veteran's told him to take a knee.
Yeah. And he didn't even come out originally when he didn't even come out and say anything. Like somebody, ESPN or wherever, Monday Night Football, whatever broadcast was broadcasting the game when he was on the 49ers, happened to scroll over and notice that he was sitting. So then someone asked him after the game, "Are you set?" And he said he gave a whole long, speech, in the locker room about police brutality, and this is why he feels that he needed to sit, and that was his way of doing it. He was doing that for a couple games and started gaining, news. And then from that veteran saw him. And then so he went and met with the veteran, like had lunch or coffee with him, and that's where that happened. Right. But then after that, it kept gaining attention, kept gaining more and more like attention. A couple of his other teammates started kneeling with him and stuff like that after he told them what the veteran said and all the other good stuff. And then it just snowballed out of control. The message got lost. Trump started speaking on it at different like rallies and saying how he's disrespecting the flag.
And the reason why
a bunch of stuff on it. Yeah, it's just
the reason why it started picking up steam was hello, Javier's here.
Welcome.
The reason why it was picking up steam was it was more than just normal people starting to get jacked up by cops. Like, take a look at I think his name is Thabo Cephalosha. He used to play for the Chicago Bulls. He got traded to the Knicks. When he was in New York, he got jacked up by the cops. The cops broke his leg.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
Broke his leg, obviously ending his season. And I don't even know if he's playing anymore.
I don't know. I don't know if he came back. Yeah.
Yeah. So you had a guy who had potential. He was a young guy. He had potential, and he was doing good, and the cops put an end to that. And then you got another guy who just recently got pulled out of the car by cops. So I think that's what's heartbreaking is people would rather sit here and fuss about the flag. Meanwhile, there's people who make panties out of flags, out of the American flag, right? Mm-hmm. You're doing all kinds of disrespectful things to the flags. Here's another one. Something as simple as if you're bringing the flag down from the flagpole and the flag touches the ground, you're supposed to burn it. How many times have you seen a flag touch the ground? Them big ass flags that all these people come out in the beginning of like season openers and all this stuff. These big ass football field sized flags, and everyone is waving it all up and down. You have like 150 people waving this flag and stuff like that. And then that flag touches the ground. You're supposed to set that thing on fire. Those are the rules. So now all of a sudden we're going to ignore all of that stuff and say that he's disrespecting the flag when he's trying to tell you guys that there's a problem. There's a systemic problem that's happening in this country that everyone is ignoring. Because up until before social media started happening, black people would be like, yeah, this cop pulled me out of the car and beat my ass. And then folks would be like, well, you probably did something, blah, 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 right? Yeah. Now we're starting to see that people are getting pulled out of their car for no good reason at all. There was a video I saw today. Some kid had a broken taillight parked in his own driveway. The cop pulled him out of his car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So once we fix that, then we can start talking about whether or not we're going to take a knee at a game. Until that happens, don't talk to me about knees. Talk to me about these ass whippings. Talk to me about why is it that a black dude in the middle of the highway was pulled over because his car broke down, and when he got out of his truck because the cops pulled up, he got shot. Didn't have a cell phone, didn't have anything. Mm-hmm. He got out of his truck and got killed. Now what are we going to do with his kids? What are we going to do with his wife? And you're going to give me a hard time because Colin Kaepernick is bending a knee to tell you guys that we have a problem? Fuck off. I mean, F off. Sorry.
I think the even more frustrating thing, and that I saw too, is like
it wasn't this deep earlier.
He's like, is this the same show?
Yeah. And I think so many people eloquently put it like Carlos has, or like talked on shows and like corrected newscasters and corrected people, and like, how it's just the gloss over of like, I don't really care, and then like I turn and they turn around and say the exact same thing they just said after somebody spends like 5 minutes of like telling you what really happened and tell you the story. So it's like it's very weird on how things are now, because that exact thing that Carlson said has been said a bunch of times. I've seen it said on ESPN, I've seen it said on CNN and corrected other people, and like they just still keep up the same narrative.
Well, I mean, it goes back. I mean, to bring it full circle, it goes back to kind of what we were talking about. Nobody likes their reality shit.
Right.
They don't like their story, their narrative that they've come to accept to be thrown in their face. They don't want to accept that their neighbor is racist. They don't want to accept that not all cops are good. They don't want to accept that there's bad stuff happening into the world. And fine, maybe it's not happening to me, but it might be happening to somebody else, and maybe I should care about that. People create these little stories, these little narratives. This is how I see the world. This is how I've come to accept America. And you'll find literally any excuse to refute the evidence in your face. And if you can't refute it, you'll just ignore it.
Yeah. Right.
Because it's too hard. I mean, this is not an excuse. It's just more of an explanation. It's too hard for people to really put in the effort to open up that story and that truth, and to really put into question what they actually understand and believe. Because so often, so many of your own sets of beliefs, morals, and understandings of kind of the way the world and the system works are set around those. And so you crack that open, and then it's like, man, that's really unsettling. Right. That now I have to face all of these things about myself that I've come to accept that maybe are not true.
Yeah. Right. That's what it is. Welcome, people in the chat.
How about that sketching?
Yeah.
Art.
People are still popping in, though.
What kind of paints do you use, Charlie?
Well, I like
Javier's like, you guys ain't even drawing. What the hell?
I'm working on something in case I don't post it and I don't finish it. Can you see?
Hey,
attaboy.
Something going on there.
Patrick just popped in. I don't know which Patrick this is, but hello, Patrick. Welcome.
There's mine. So,
well, should we do the?
We should.
What are we doing?
You're the inspiration. You bring feeling to my life. You're the inspiration.
Soundboard is like nice and loud.
Right. Got that. Oh, hang on. Wrong window. Here we go. This week, y'all, I'm going to introduce you guys to Ant CGI.
Ooh.
Ant CGI.
Oh, Pat Mast. What's going on, dude?
Yeah, hey.
Good work. Let's take a look.
Ooh.
Yeah, listen.
Crazy proportions. No.
Oh,
look at the detail, son.
Look at the hair. Can you just...
People love painting hair.
Right?
They just like painting hair. I think it's one of those things that's like got a therapeutic quality to just
when you get it right, you're like, yeah, that looks
You just kind of get in the groove of the curve of that thing, and you're just...
Even the eyebrows are obnoxious.
Yeah, the eyebrows are really crazy. And then they do shadows underneath just to let you know what time it is.
Right. I mean, my girl's got the little freckles. She's got the little pores in there. Yeah.
She doesn't have a neck.
That neck, though.
Oh, toothpick.
Oh, her neck bone.
Look, there's her neck in a box.
You got a neck in a box.
Look at your neck. Yo.
Oh, look at him. Look at that. Or her. Who is it?
This is
yeah, is it her?
I think it's a
girl.
dude.
Oh, okay.
Like treating me to coffee. La 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 la. I have. We'll take a look later. I wanted to go in there. Look at this.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Yeehaw.
Whoa. Bill.
Table for horse, ride a cow.
This was the model I created in my very first digital tutors course. Get out of here.
Smack you in the face. Get that model out of here.
Yeah.
Wow. I hate when people post stuff like this.
Look at this.
That's your first model.
You know how I know this is a dude?
Oh, no. He's saying he created tutorials because then he follows it up with saying, have you guys used any of them?
Oh,
this is how I know it's a dude, because only a dude would have like unbuttoned pants right there.
Yeah.
A girl would be like, you know how uncomfortable that is?
Unless they but well, okay. Yeah, that's true.
Unless it is a girl. I don't know. Either way, look at.
Oh, where's my?
Apparently they got a Patreon page.
Apparently they got a Patreon. That's a cool. Whoa, that neck.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Got a thing with necks.
Okay. Tell me what's
creepy.
The other image?
This is the real image. That's a reference image, and this is the stylized.
Did she manipulate the reference image?
No, I think he painted it.
No, it's
painted. You mean no? I think that's the straight up real reference image.
Are you sure? Look at
the eyes are pretty big compared to the reference.
Not to mention.
Oh no! Well, yeah.
I mean,
obviously,
liquefy another thing.
Yeah.
Cool. Let me just.
Yeah.
But the source itself.
He's got some videos.
Whoa, family friendly here.
Whoa! Everybody's got butt crack.
Oh, did he do this?
I'm not sure.
He didn't do this.
Happening.
That's
But,
legit from my childhood. I just watched one of those old school Batman Beyonds the other day. Took me back.
It's a good show.
So I wanted to find a good process video because I watched one earlier today.
Oh, you did?
Let's see. Is this one? No. Possibly. Okay. No. Either way, dude's got skills.
To pay the bills.
I agree. Those eyes, the way he renders eyes, I'm assuming it's a he. Here we go. Look at it. Get after it, kid.
Get after it. Get it.
He's got that good black skin brush.
He's stupid. He's stupid. That's a good one. I don't know if they'll catch that. He's got that good hair. That good black skin.
So yeah,
Weird
check him out. Ant, it's Instagram.com/antcgi.
Like it.
Jack.
He's got a thing with necks though. It's kind of weird.
It's the neck thing. Like let's switch it to arms or something. Like
right. See, look at this is a good one.
Eyes though, he got the eyes. Eyes I feel like are hard to paint.
Yeah, they are. But once you get them, that's it. It's donezo.
Donezo, son.
Look at boom. You see? Easy. First you start with a box and then you push and pull points.
He's drawing though,
Oh. So we'll watch this.
This is a different way I've seen done before. It's kind of cool.
Look. Ah, yeah. It drives me crazy.
It's the whole
because you can sit here for 3 days and try to do exactly this, and it won't ever come out. Boom, boom, boom. Get some flashes.
Yeah, the brush icon isn't even going in the same place as that thing.
Right?
Right? Yeah.
Cheating ass.
Are we halfway through? Oh, he's still going. Oh, wait a minute. Nice.
Little eyeliner. And then you just hit it with the eyebrow brush, and there you go. Boom. So yeah, check him out. His stuff is so good. Instagram.com/antcgi. ANTCGI.
Instagrams.
Right.
Instagrams.
I got Cam Kendall. CAMKENDELL. Visual storyteller making comics and more. This here is kind of what caught me, but then I clicked around, and his stuff's a little all over the place. It's kind of some but then you get down into the older stuff.
Good stuff.
And there's these really interesting character designs that I'm really into. That are just kind of fun and
those are
good shapes. It's got really good shapes.
That ping pong pickle.
Stop laughing.
And if you take the time to actually read his captions for his posts, they're really bizarrely funny as well. This one says, "The client work continues. Things are getting weird and soaked in vinegar." Like the one on the rabbit was the elusive Uniflop, long believed to be a myth that lives deep in the woods, feeding on moss and emitting disturbing yet humorous noises.
He's got an interesting YouTube channel too. I haven't seen anything. I don't know recently, but he was posting pretty regularly a few months ago.
Didn't even know there was a YouTube channel.
What's that?
Didn't even know there was a YouTube channel.
Yeah, he's got some interesting content on there, and he seems like a pretty interesting guy.
There he is.
Yeah, I actually didn't realize I'll have to follow his Instagram because I don't think I'm even following his Instagram.
So that was a video of him drinking water.
I'm not gonna lie, some of his YouTube videos kind of similar.
But his comic book work is really nice too. If you get a chance, it's just got a really nice clean style, quirky little goofy characters. Yeah. So that's Cam Kendall, and apparently he's on YouTube as well.
Check him out.
I started following him because he is cool.
Because I want to watch him drink water.
Would you like a glass of water?
Water to wash.
Chuckington, are you ready?
I think I am. I had to regroup, but I found something good.
Yeah, boy.
Let's share, shall we? Sharing time. I'm just double checking.
The share time is a little old time for us to get to sharing.
Share.
Share,
What's going on over there?
baby.
I'm on.
It's not like he hasn't done this 140.
Look, all this extra lip that you got to give me,
times.
all this extra lip can just zip it. No, I like to savor this.
Oh boy.
Here we go. So I picked a concept artist this week, Lincoln Hughes, senior environment / concept artist at WB Games, Warner Brother Games in Montreal.
Someone's been working on Blade Runner.
Yes.
Something.
So his style is super detailed environments. He's got a bunch of different like Unreal stuff. I think he's like a super environment artist because he can do both sides of the coin. He can concept. He can also get into to do some really cool 3D. Let's show you this image first. Show you the skill set. Look at that. Awesome. Unreal, super detailed environment. Nice. Even has a little bit of video for it just to let you know how cool it looks with the epic videos and stuff. Oh, nice. There it is. Displacement, blending, and materials. So he's doing like different type of tutorials showing you like the process. So it's really, really cool, right? But the cooler thing that caught my eye was this same thing that caught Jack's eye just now. These really crazy like photo bashing sci-fi environments. I have a thing for photo bashing. I like it. Like But I like artists to do it really well though, because I think it's a really hard thing to do. And I'm trying to figure out with this one. There it is. There it is. Cool. How do I? It won't let me scroll down. That's weird. There it goes. So there's a process one in here. Here. And like it's really cool. Well, where'd it go? Did you see the GIF? I saw the GIF. I don't know where it's at now.
I didn't see a GIF, but I saw a GIF.
GIF.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Get out of here with that. You're not sharing a jar of peanut butter, so stop it.
I need you guys both to hush.
You need to learn use proper English.
Where is that? Anyway, these things are cool. So check out these images.
Yeah, it looks
there was
really
a
nice.
process one where it showed the photo, the photo bash that he did. So maybe if we do it this way, we'll just look through all these. Right? It's got this weird, Blade Runner type style, almost like really like sketchy at the same time. Like it's like almost like what's that like? Is it watercolor paper, Jack? What's that like? That has like the ribbed tooth to the paper.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Digitally, but like it looks like it has that like tooth to it, But like really, really cool work, man. I love it. So I mean, people start getting into concept stuff, start doing photo bashing. They think all it is painting over photos, but like a lot of times, what happens is these guys have like the actual painting background to help bridge the gap, because one of the things they say, even if you do like photo bashing for film and other ones, is like you can't rely on it because one day you might get that scene that you can't find a photo for, But here it is. Oh, so here's one. Yeah, there it is. This one I wanted to show, so you can see the process to this. Can I make this bigger?
I wonder if he also I've seen
every time I do it,
one guy do it where he kind of cut and pasted a whole bunch, like 3 or 4 different photos. Yeah, it looks like he's probably using different photos.
Yeah. So you could. Oh, there it is. Cool. I can do it this way. Perfect. Here you go. Check it out.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey. That's neat.
Dude, it's a really cool idea. One of the coolest parts about this one that I found when I saw this the other day was like the very first shot. I wish you can like pause, GIFs. Like, see how there's just a bunch of circles?
Can you just click on it?
Yeah.
Click on it, don't move. Will that freeze it?
No. Nope.
No.
But like he planned out having big circles. Like that was his thing. And then found images to like go off of his design. Like he actually had like an environment design. It's called gray box. He actually gray boxed or like blocked out his like idea first here with the silos, and then found things that with that design narrative that he wanted to do, and then started painting around it. It's like really interesting. But he has a bunch of these ones like this. And like this in image, like how it got processed into it, you would never know the way he has it with the like, painted sky background with that same kind of tooth material. Or this was a photo at one point, but the way he's painted over it, it doesn't look like it anymore. It's like it totally looks like a painting now. I think that's really cool. This crazy alien one caught me too. It's like this. She's just angry. The queen is angry. It's really cool. Was there one other one here? Oh, there it is. Blade Runner fan art. Here you go, Jack.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Quick strokes. More detailed atmosphere. More detail. More atmosphere. Color correction. Unsharp filter. Everybody likes that unsharp filter. Anything else? Yeah, check his stuff out. His name is Lincoln Hughes. Really cool, talented artist. Could do both sides, draw and 3D, which is
well played, Lincoln Hughes.
Yeah. It's awesome. Get it in your life. Cool.
Cool. Hey, Landon, is there anyone you want to share?
Sure. I have somebody. I don't know if you guys have seen him before or not, but I'll go ahead and see if I can share my screen here. Let's see.
Green screen on the left.
Yeah, and there, I guess just share that one.
Share the application window too. You can just share.
You let me know if you guys.
There it is.
Or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Paint with Nick. Ooh.
Yeah. Have you guys heard of him, or have you spoken with him before or anything?
Oh no.
I think so.
No. All right. Yeah, this is a guy I followed. He's in this area too. I've spoken to him. I've seen him at Figure Drawing over in Burbank a couple of times, and he's a nice guy. I've seen him at CTN as well. But his, I've also taken a couple of his course, like a color course that he has on Gumroad, and that was really good.
You're a star.
But, yeah, pretty much. You know, I'm just like Carlos. You know,
You've seen him at home.
We can say it.
You see him taking shots. We let him on the show one time. He's taking shots.
Speaking truth.
But yeah, this guy, you know, his colors and just the backgrounds. Yeah, it's just, you know, really, really nice, very colorful. I've had his one of his, you know, paintings as my backdrop for my computer for a while. Let's see, this is something he did recently. Oh, let's see.
Oh, cool. Whoa.
Mm-hmm. See, it's little things like that piss me off. He's like, look here. He's like, boom, boom, boom. Here, six pictures to show you I ain't shit.
Here's your kaleidoscope of color. This is you need to use all the color.
He does some painting, and I think a lot of times he uses. Actually, I think this is oil most of the time. He does a lot of plein air painting.
Sweet.
Seems like he just paints a lot. I mean, a lot of times it seems like he wakes up in the morning, does like a painting, and then goes to work. I think he works at Disney, doing some sort of backgrounds or something. But yeah, he just seems he's always doing something.
That's awesome.
He's got some really cool time-lapse videos too. See that stuff right there.
That's nice. I mean, stuff right there.
Mm-hmm.
That Marco Bucci stuff. He does that same stuff.
Yeah, they're kind of similar.
Nice, super loose.
Yeah. Even got some figures in this one.
That's cool.
Oh, this one's got some sound.
That's cool.
So it looks like I don't know if he made those paintings and stitched them together, I guess.
I think it's like fading or something.
He's painting bashing.
He actually painted all this frame.
This is pretty cool too. I like that.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Lighting on that one's cool too.
But yeah, so that's Paint with Nick Kennedy. Yeah, just really cool stuff.
Very cool.
Ooh.
I like it. Good job, sir. So, Landon, thanks again for coming on.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Long-time listener, first time visit.
First guest.
First time guest.
If people want to check you out and stalk you a little bit, maybe maybe offer you a job or whatever, where can they check out your work and your portfolio?
If you want to give me a job, please do. At Landon
Uber app.
Yeah, exactly right. I meet a lot of people through Uber, to be honest. I've met I met a guy who works at Blizzard and a number of Disney artists, and it's pretty cool to meet a lot of people that way. But anyways, at Landon R. Wilson, pretty much everywhere, but Instagram is the best place. And LandonRWilson.com. I got a portfolio site, but I think it might be linked on LandonRWilson.com.
Cool. Glorious. Hang on, let me see. There's some action in
the chat.
Yeah. Shiloh and Javier are giving each other virtual high fives right now.
Chat just does.
They're like, oh, your work is so amazing. Oh, your work is so amazing. Listen, both of you guys are amazing.
Chat's just having their own show. They don't even listen to us anymore. They just type.
That's it.
I noticed Shiloh didn't have one.
He did. I think we skipped it because he did submit one. I remember seeing it.
Uh-oh, what?
Really?
No, I think we showed it.
No, we didn't. I went back and looked. Because I was like, oh, well, I forgot. Here, I'll show it real quick. I got it.
Yeah, I was going to say, come on. You got to show
Sorry, Shiloh. We didn't do it intentionally. There we go.
Oh, yes. Why is it not in our feed?
Oh, that's a good one. Why is it not?
You slacking. I don't know.
No.
Shiloh didn't do it right this week. He just
oh man. Did
I even tagged you?
I know. Shiloh is one of the people that actually does it correctly all the time.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Shiloh goes out and finds other people's stuff and sends it.
Here.
How did I? Come on, son. I could have sworn.
Before we head out, we could also talk. Yo, Jack, I've been stalking you online this week.
Huh?
I've been stalking you online this week.
Why? What do you mean?
Your marathon of colored images. You know I'm gonna comment on that time you make something color other than black and white. Whatever you've been eating in the morning for breakfast, keep it going. Because the splash
cold
of color,
showers.
The splash of color. But you've been on a little bit of a world tour.
A little bit.
Of different challenges.
Yeah, I was just out there exploring what's, I don't know. Yeah, I did the character design challenge, and then I did the Jim Bob drawing show. Obviously, I did the fun prompt. I don't know, I'm just looking for something to do, I guess.
Man, me and Carlos talked about this. I told him I was going to ask you on the show. And he was like, Jack got this plan, this deep, introspective something's going on. He's going around. He's drawing and stuff. It's gonna be great. So I'm just gonna wait and ask him on the show to get that good answer. Yo, I'm looking for something to
do. No clients for Jack.
No. I kind of love that answer. Yo, I guess I'm looking for something to do. I'm trying to find myself in these prompts. Find my color muse.
Stuff.
Just looking for something to do. Yo, I totally bigged you up yo, Jack is calculated with this stuff. He's building. He's playing with color. There's something happening. That was my Barbara Walters moment. Not quite. Guess I'm looking for something.
It might lead to that. You never know.
But it's cool. It's cool going out seeing other people in the community. Guys, if you look around, there's a lot of people doing our fun prompts. None of them do them just like us because we're amazing. But it's cool to see how other people are doing it and what they're using I mean, Carlos, didn't you say one group is doing more of like a jar type thing with like nouns and
that's the Jim Bob drawing show.
Yeah,
they have a bunch of paper cutouts, and then they just put nouns in one jar and verbs, I think, or adjectives in the other jar.
Yeah, something like that.
And then they pick 2 pieces of paper, and that's what they draw for the week. I've seen Shiloh jump in on theirs too. Shiloh be crushing theirs too.
Mm-hmm. What was the fairy one for, Jack? Was that one Pacific?
That was theirs. That was the Jim Bob one.
Yeah.
I like that one because I was focused on lighting for that one. That was interesting. I had to stare at it for a couple seconds, like, oh, there it is. You know.
Yeah, it didn't quite. Yeah, it's. Yeah, you got to stare at it. It didn't quite do what I wanted it to do, but it was a good little exercise.
Yeah, exercise. Yeah. Cool.
Javier said, "Yeah, I'm following character design challenge 1. That thing's super intimidating."
Yeah,
so
I texted Carlos. I texted Carlos today, and I was like, "I just posted my first character design challenge. I hope they don't rip me a new one."
Are they going to give you critiques? Are they going to give you critiques on that? Is that
yeah, there's a pretty active community that comments pretty. They're actually, for the most part, pretty supportive and just kind of are saying how great everything is. But there's a few on there that will lay it out.
What is that?
It's just a Facebook group called Character Design Challenge, and they just pick a topic, but it's got like a lot of contributors and like really skilled people. It is a little intimidating. Like this week's theme, well, actually, it's been like up there for 4 months. So I don't really know how active the admins are, but the community is super active. It's Street Fighter is the current theme.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, cool. I just thought it was cool that you were popping around.
So, Charlie, if people want to find you online, where can they find you?
A couple different places. Almighty Instagram, you can find me at CharlieBW3. You can find me on my website, carboncollector.com/CharlieBWilliams. Latest stuff is up there. Newsflash, a little bit of update to that site a little bit. I'm also on Vimeo, also you can find me over there, CharlieBW3. But on my update on my site, both Vimeo and my actual website, you can find my latest reel. Cut a new reel last week, so 2018 reel is up there. Check it out. Some of the latest and greatest stuff that I've been doing over at XNow. Creative directing as well as art directing and lead 3D artist. So check it out. There's some cool new things there. If you want to see the latest work, it's there. Almighty Pinterest, pinterest.com/CharlieBW3. Inspiration, all type of posting, what I look for in my downtime, and like all type of products and stuff and boards and stuff from work and everything. Check it out. Get it in your life.
Excellent. And how about you, Jack?
You can find me at sketchbookjack.com and sketchbookjack on Instagram, Facebook, and a couple others.
Man, I have had some really bad allergies lately, and I am just, I'm just miserable 24/7. However, if you're trying to find me and my misery,
I love it.
You can find me at carlosrgomez.com or coconutjustice.com. Coconut Justice everywhere else. This has been Sketch Zone Podcast. You can go to sketch.zone and take a look. This is episode 143.
143. We're getting up there. 150 is not far away.
So, yeah. And so there's a whole bunch of stuff there that you guys can go and partake. Have a good time. Otherwise, you can find us all over the net. Do not go to Instagram.com/sketchzone_.
Well, you can. Well, not anymore. I was gonna say you can see our logo there, but
yeah, you can. And you know what? I think I'm gonna reach out to sketchzone_ to see if they want to come on the show.
What are you doing?
just because.
That would be awkward.
You gotta leave that poor 9-year-old alone.
Yeah, they already got scared and took it down.
Get a little
But yeah, you can find
you
can find the links to everything at sketch.zone. We're on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. And if you're on Instagram, remember that this week we're doing a Raccoon softball player tiptoeing.
Saw
that, Javier, huh? Yeah. How you gonna jack my stuff, dude? Man, get out of here. You missed it. You can go to the beginning of the show and listen. Sketch Zone Nation got on that ass.
Sounds weird.
They took down that logo. So yeah. And then if you're on Instagram, like I said 30 seconds ago, Raccoon softball player tiptoeing. And then when you post that to Instagram, go ahead and tag us. Go into the section that says tag people, tag us, because otherwise it gets lost in the mix. But yeah, we're on Twitter. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and click the subscribe button down there and then hit the little bell. So
bell icon.
When we go live, you'll get alerted. And then if you're on Twitch, subscribe button is up here somewhere.
Top right.
So go ahead and exactly. Putting them on blast. But then if you want to hear the show and you're not able to catch us live, like Javier was here, Shiloh was here, Noel was here, Patrick was here, B. Abram. I'm not sure what your first name is, but thank you for coming.
Where's David?
I think I got most, if not all, the people's. Chat was fun this week. But yeah, if you can't catch us live, you can obviously watch us on Twitch, on YouTube, or subscribe to us on Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, and of course, iTunes.
Then what's the countdown to Ground Zero? How long we got?
3 weeks.
3 weeks?
I feel like it's so far away still.
I know it's been 3 weeks for about 7 weeks.
Maybe it's only 2 now. What is it?
Yeah, right. It's got to be closer to
June 9th and 10th.
Yeah.
June 9th and 9th and 10th.
2 weeks.
Yeah, Ground Zero Animation Expo, gzaexpo.com. And if you can come out and hang out,
you live.
We're going to be there. We got some really cool stuff happening.
And then they'll be there on Sunday.
Yeah.
Just want to be there all weekend.
Yeah, we'll be there all weekend.
Are you guys doing any workshops or anything, or panels or anything like that? Or just
no, we're not that cool.
You're pretty cool, but you just have to.
We're not that cool.
You're doing cool things at the table.
Yeah, we are.
Mm-hmm.
We are.
We got to prove ourselves. So anyway, yeah, we'll be there June 9th and 10th. I think that's it.
I think we're good.
So with that, y'all, have a good week.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye, all.